Good morning and welcome to Mary Ellen's Miracle Moment. Of course, I'm Mary Ellen and you can always connect with me through AskMaryEllen.com. My Miracle Moment is presented on Thursday and I usually use an inspirational story for you that teaches a lesson. It might be a fable, it might be a true story, or something that you can use in your life and you can also share with your children. Now, today's miracle moment is a true story from Sydney, Australia. And as always, my miracle moments begin with once upon a time. So, once upon a time in Sydney, Australia, there was a homeless man. Now, he had become homeless because he was illiterate. He'd never learned to read or write, so he dropped out of school at an early age and had turned to alcohol. So he was also an alcoholic. So this illiterate alcoholic homeless man one day decided to walk into a church. Now he was just going into the church to rest or relax, so he was tired. Now, the time was about the 1940s in Sydney, Australia. Remember, this is a true story. The preacher in this particular church was preaching a powerful sermon on eternity. And he asked the congregation about heaven or hell. Where do you believe you're going? Do you believe in heaven and hell or not? Where will you spend your eternity? Now, the homeless man didn't have any opinion on the subject. I mean, he was just sitting there listening. And the preacher went on, and at the end of the sermon, the preacher shouted, "Eternity!" I wish all of Sydney, Australia could hear the word eternity and think about where they would spend their eternity. Well, just at that moment, a lightning bolt of revelation struck this homeless man. And he just sat back. He went outside the church and happened to find on the street a piece of chalk. And he went onto the street and wrote in a beautiful flowing script, cursive handwriting, the word eternity in huge letters on the street. Now, although he had never learned to read or write, he did not know where he got this urge to write or how he ever learned to write the word eternity. Now, he never drank again, and for the next 35 years, he wandered around the streets of Sydney, Australia, writing the word eternity anywhere he could. He would write it on sidewalks, on subways, on walls, on buildings, or any place that there was a spare place where he could write the word eternity. Now, when he was doing this, he would do this late at night or early in the morning, and no one ever saw him write it. Yet they would come out in the morning and they would see the word eternity in this beautiful flowing script. Now, for years, no one could photograph this man and no one knew his name until in about 1956, about 16 years later, a reverend caught him writing on the sidewalk, and he asked him his name. Now, his name was Arthur Stace, Stace. Now, for Arthur, it was just his job, his simple way of getting the people's minds focused on spiritual matters so that they would, think about their eternal destiny and possibly be led to have faith in God, in our Lord Jesus Christ. Now, during this time, he did learn about Christ's teaching. And he did learn to have faith in God because he knew that's where he was getting this power. Now, this story became so much a part of Sydney, Australia's folklore that in 1999, after Arthur Stace had passed away, the city honored Arthur Stace by replicating his beautiful handwriting in enormous letters across their wonderful bridge in the Sydney Harbor. And During the Millennial Fireworks Show, the CNN camera caught the word eternity for all of the viewers around the world to see. And this simple gospel message that reformed an illiterate, alcoholic, homeless man and made him a Christian was now able to reach millions and billions of people because CNN had broadcast it. Just like Christ turned the 5 loaves of bread and the 5 fishes into enough food to feed the multitudes, God multiplied Arthur Stace's efforts far beyond anything he could have ever imagined. What is your message to the world? You have social media, you have TV, you have news, you have radio. What is your message? I think all of you know my message is to get out truth, and not just facts or opinions, but loving God's truth to the world. That's what I want to do. I want to live in love. I want to give you love. I am so grateful for all of you who always follow my posts and my miracle moments and my miracles with Mary Ellen. Arthur Stace only had a piece of chalk, and he walked around writing his message. What is your message? And what are you going to do to get your message out to the world today? Go to AskMaryEllen.com to see all of my many loving messages to the world, to look at Miracles with Mary Ellen from Monday. And please go there and pick up any of my books, Truth Lives, Healing Words, or Truth Taking Responsibility Unleashes True Healing. All really good books of inspiration and motivation to get you loving yourself and get love out into the world. And until then, think about eternity. And where are you going to spend eternity? I'll see you later. I'll see you Monday on Miracles with Mary Ellen. Until then, have a great, fun-filled weekend. Bye-bye.